My name's David Green. I'm here with Jonathan Ferrar, co-founder and CEO of insight222 in Europe. And we're going to talk about the 9 dimensions of excellence in people analytics model, which we co-created together and we're both really excited about. And Jonathan has just published a blog on that now. But we're just going to ask a few quick questions around that. So firstly, Jonathan, why? Why did we put the model together?
Both you and I have been in the analytics space for some time. And over that time, working with clients and talking at conferences and meeting hundreds of people, 3 big questions keep coming up. One is around impact. How do I create impact? One is how do I create value? And the third question is what should I do next? And of course, as these questions kept coming up and we looked at all the work that we did, we worked out that there were essentially the same types of topics coming up. And therefore, that's how we created these 9 dimensions that will help people become more excellent in people analytics.
And we broke it into 3 main areas. So foundation, resources and value. So let's take each of those in turn.
So foundation. So firstly, it's about governance. Secondly, it's about methodologies. And thirdly, it's about stakeholders. It's about having those things in place that will enable you to be well set up for the future. So when people came to us and asked us those questions about how can I create more impact, more value, and what should I do, found that people were sometimes struggling with knowing who to go to, who to get approval for, to understand the business problems that were being worked on, to know exactly where to start, how to do things, what order to do things in, and then also to get things like sign-off and to know that they were ethically doing the right things, or at least talking to the right people to know that they were meeting the right standards for security and ethics and policies within the organization. So yeah, it's about governance, it's about methodologies, and it's about stakeholders.
And then the second part is around resources. So there was 3 types of resources that we felt that really were the main ones that people needed to consider.
We spend a lot of time on data, which is one of the resources, but the other 2 equally important are around skills and technology. So very simply, what skills do you need? Which means what people do you need? Do you need them inside your team, inside of HR, inside the company, or outside of the company? The second is data. How do you gather data? How do you use data? And how do you manage data to get the right outputs? And then on technology, it's about what technology is for different things like visualization, business intelligence and reporting, and statistical analysis, and almost that automation side, artificial intelligence of automating the outputs in some cases. So different technologies.
And all of those, I think, are a challenge, but technology in particular, given the actual pace of change that's going on and the sheer amount of vendors in the space, I think.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that you and I have picked up, and we talked about at length when we were constructing this 9 dimensions, is there are so many vendors, there's so much confusion about what those vendors do. When you're sitting in an organization trying to resolve problems for the business, it can feel such a cloudy area that hopefully our model will help people think about technology and the vendors in different buckets and make it a lot easier for them.
Okay. And then the third element is around value. So it's almost a holy grail of people analytics as such. And again, 3 components that comprise it.
Well, value is, as we talked about it, is in 3 areas of workers, really. The workers around workers themselves and employees and the values, so that's personalization, consumerization of analytics. Then there's the managers, and that's around things like reporting and the democratization of data out to managers so that they can run their teams better, manage their people better, etc., more easily with the information to make those decisions. And thirdly, it's about executives and the executive decision making. So that's around financial value, risk management, etc., more at the group or the corporate or the divisional level in an organization. And so that's the areas of impact and value.
And we found that all those 9 areas where organisations have reasonable capability in all of those areas, that helps them do another crucial thing, which is to create that culture of analytics outside, not just within a people analytics team, not just within HR, but actually within stakeholders within the business that are demanding some of these insights that some of these teams are able to provide.
Yeah, so and culture is the big thing that sort of wraps around everything. How do you create a culture of analytics? As we were talking about when we were developing these 9 dimensions for excellence in people analytics, the model itself has descriptions. It also has a diagnostic tool, so you can actually undertake a survey to diagnose where you're great and where you're not so great. and then other elements of it which allow you, from report, and we get involved with clients as well. So it's about taking that model and not just leaving it on a piece of paper, but actually bringing it alive for a client so that they can embed things and do things differently, and do the things that we hoped you would do, make an impact and create more value. So.
Well, you'll be hearing a lot more about the 9 dimension of excellence in people analytics model. Do read Jonathan's blog, and we'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.